I am switching off the camera for some time as of now because there is a problem with the bandwidth here. So for better audibility, I'll keep the camera off for some time and then I'll switch it on. Right. So I'll be taking this session for 2 hours. I'll be giving you a break in another 40 minutes, a 5 minutes break, so that whatever we have discussed, so that whatever we have discussed, you can go through it and ask me any questions would, that are coming to your mind, any clarification that you would want to see. Just a minute. Yeah. So I'll be taking your class. I'm telling you that I'll be taking your class for around 40 minutes. We'll take a class and then we'll take a 5 minutes break. You can ask me questions, hence related to whatever we've done till that
Ma'am, your
time.
voice is not clear. Please turn off the voice of RC Dehradun. Please turn off your mic.
RC Dehradun, could you please? Yes, okay. Am I audible now?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Good, great. Right. So
Sorry, ma'am,
please
your
take.
voice not clear.
My voice is still not clear.
Yes, yes.
Okay. Is my voice clear for everybody else?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay,
Yes,
right
ma'am.
now,
Clear
clear.
this now.
I want the others to kindly join in and
Yeah.
tell me whether my voice is clear or not.
Yes, ma'am. Your voice is clear.
Right now, your voice is clear, ma'am.
Yeah, good afternoon, ma'am. I'm Dr. Jagdamba Prasad. Dr. Soumya, ma'am, are you there?
Mr. Noori, is my voice clear? Mr. Ahmed?
Yes, ma'am. Your
Yes,
voice is
ma'am, your
very
voice
clear.
clear.
Syed? Mr. Syed? Shamim?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Your voice is clear.
Ma'am, do you have any PPT to share?
No, I don't have a PPT. I'll be taking my classes as per the study material.
Okay, okay.
But somehow there is a problem where people are saying that my voice is not audible,
No, no,
except
it
for
is
one
audible.
person. Yeah, except for one person, everybody else probably can hear me. I'll take my class. I'll take my class as per the study material that has been shared, and
Yes.
because so I'll take my class. Okay, I was just wondering whether my voice is audible or not.
Yeah, it's audible. And one more thing that we have also made you one of the co-host so that in case some learners want to join in between, then
Yes,
on
that I
the
am doing. Yes, I can see
yes.
people are joining, and I am admitting them.
Okay.
I would kindly request you, sir, to please take a screenshot when the maximum number of people have joined,
Yeah, yeah. We are taking no problem, ma'am.
and if
No.
you could share it with me also, so that I can
Yes, yes. I will
put
do
it up
that.
when
No
required.
problem.
Okay.
I will do that.
Okay. Thank you. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hi. So let us get back to our learning
Yes, ma'am.
process. As you all know that I'll be taking up MRD202. Please take a pen and paper and sit. This paper is titled just a minute. This paper is titled Rural Development Programs. The entire paper, paper of MRD202 is divided into 4 blocks. The first block deals with poverty alleviation and employment generation programs. Poverty alleviation and employment generation programs. The second block deals with the basic services and infrastructural development programs. The third is about the natural resources management and the environment. And block 4 talks about some other development programs which were not covered in block 1, 2 and 3. So as you all understand that okay, I would request you to kindly answer my question. You are from Afghanistan, is that clear? All the students are from Afghanistan? I would want a response from the students, please. Okay, so if you would call your country, if I ask you to call your country urban or rural, what word would you give to your country? What would be the first word that comes to your mind?
मैम ये सवाल आप हिंदी में अगर एक बार बताएं तो हम रिस्पांस दे सकते हैं।
आप लोग हिंदी में क्लास लेना चाहते हो?
साहब अपना ये सवाल एक बार हिंदी में पूछिए प्लीज।
आप में से करीब अभी 12 लोगों ने ज्वाइन कर रखा है। There are 12 people who have joined. Out of 12 of you, how many of you would want to आप कितने लोग चाहोगे कि मैं हिंदी में पढ़ाऊं? आप लोग हैंड रेज कर सकते हैं।
सिर्फ मैं हूं मैम, और कोई नहीं है। मैंने बस पूछा कि आपका ये जो सवाल आपने किया तो इंग्लिश में था, तो मुझे समझ नहीं आई, तो इसलिए मैंने पूछा कि अगर आप वो सवाल हिंदी में पूछिए।
कोई बात नहीं सैयद जी, मैं हिंदी में पूछ लूंगी, और अगर सभी को उचित लगता है और सही लगता है तो मैं हिंदी इंग्लिश दोनों के मिक्सचर में पढ़ा लूंगी। ये आप लोगों का कॉल है, आप लोग ग्रुप में जरूर डाल दीजिएगा कि आप किस माध्यम से पढ़ना चाहेंगे, वेदर यू वांट इट टू बी इन इंग्लिश और हिंदी या मिक्स पढ़ना है, ये ग्रुप में आप लोग जरूर डाल दीजिएगा। आई एम श्योर आपका एक ग्रुप क्रिएट हुआ है, आप उसमें जरूर डाल दें। ओके, सो मेरा सवाल ये था, यस मिस्टर शखावत कुछ कह रहे थे?
Do you have PPT slides for today's lecture?
I'm sorry?
Do we have PPT slides
No,
for
we
today's
don't
lecture?
have any PPT slides for this lecture. I will share the study material and we will discuss it with the material that has been shared. Okay, I'll share the study material as a screen on the screen, and we'll go with the study material so that we are able to cover everything and nothing is left behind. Okay, right. So मेरा सवाल आप लोगों से ये था कि अगर हम लोग अफगानिस्तान की बात करें तो आप I request you to please raise your hand before asking a question. I will give you a chance. Okay, I will just give me, when I'm speaking, I'll just let me complete my sentence. मुझे अपना sentence complete करने दीजिए, फिर मैं आप लोगों से आपके सवाल जरूर लूंगी। तो मेरा आपसे एक सवाल था कि अगर अगर अपने देश को नामांकन करना चाहेंगे, बोलना चाहेंगे, तो आप उसको ग्रामीण बोलेंगे या नगरीय बोलेंगे? Whether you will call it an urban society, urban country, or it's mainly a rural country? हाँ,
Madam, we will call it rural society because of the majority of the population lives in the rural areas. So it's an agriculture-based agriculture-based economy, and so we'll call it.
Perfect. Anybody else? Anybody else who would differ, जो इसको rural ना कहकर urban कहना चाहेंगे? Or would all of you prefer and will agree to the fact that your country is majorly an urban country? Yes, Mr. Shamim?
मैम मेरी नज़र से मैं हमारी सोसाइटी ट्राइबल है, ना urban है ना रूरल, ट्राइबल सोसाइटी, ट्राइब।
Okay, okay. So that is also very interesting. ये भी एक बहुत ही इंटरेस्टिंग बात है कि आप अपनी कंट्री को रूरल अर्बन में, ग्रामीण और नगरीय में डिवाइड ना करके यू कॉलिंग इट अ ट्राइबल, एक जनजातीय समाज बोल रहे हैं। सो अगर हम जनजातीय समाज से भी इसकी तुलना करें तो जनजातीय समाज के जो फीचर्स होते हैं, जो कैरेक्टरिस्टिक फीचर्स होते हैं, वो कहीं ना कहीं काफी हद तक मेल खाते हैं हमारे ग्रामीण समाज से। सो डेफिनेटली हम लोग इस चीज पर तो वी कैन कम टू दिस कंक्लूजन दैट आवर कंट्री, वेदर इट इज इंडिया और इट इज अफगानिस्तान, is a rural country, and most of the population lives in rural areas. That is why any kind of upliftment, any kind of progress, any kind of transformation in the society, किसी भी प्रकार का improvement society में has to be targeted towards the rural people. Agar if we have only urban programs and we only talk about the urban elites and the urban population, we will definitely not be able to develop our country either economically, socially, culturally, politically, if we are only targeting the urban people. Rural areas are in such large numbers that all programs, policies have to be targeted towards the rural people so that we can ensure their upliftment, their development, and it is only after their upliftment, their development, that one can think of actually overall development of our country. So this is a said thing that our country, whether India or Afghanistan, cannot be called a progressed country till the time we talk and deal with the rural population. And that is why most of the programs and policies, education wise also, and by the government, are all aimed towards rural development, mostly. Now, here in India, we have an urban affairs department, both at the central level and the state level. What is the scene there at your end? Do you have a state government department for urban development?
Yes, ma'am. We have a Ministry of Rural Development, and as well on the provincial level, Rural Development Directorates.
Very nice. Very nice. Anybody else? Anybody else would like to throw light on that? Okay, so we have a Ministry of Rural Development. Yes, Mr. Shanwari, Hayatullah Shanwari, what would you want to say? So, as we were saying, yeah, sorry, continue.
So sorry, I just mistakenly clicked on the raise hand button. Sorry for that.
Okay. So, even here we have separate ministries for urban development and for rural development. And as part of a lot of academic programs, whether it is at master's level or at graduation level, whether it is in sociology or whether it is in social work or maybe as a subject in economics, rural development strategies, programs, policies of the government are being taught at various institutes, at various levels, so as to spread awareness about the programs and policies so that more the beneficiaries are able to benefit maximum out of what is being given to them by our government, by our officials, by our dignitaries. So coming back to the point that no society can progress if its rural population is not targeted. And that is why we in this entire program of MRD202 would be studying about the urban development, we'll be studying about the rural development programs. And as you can see from the blocks, do you have your study material with you? Can you see the study material do you have a study material with you?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
Yes, ma'am.
yes, ma'am. All studied material is available in LMS.
Very nice. Have you downloaded it? Did anybody bother to download it before the class?
Yes. Completely we downloaded. We have.
Okay.
Yes, we downloaded
Good.
it.
Right. So perfect. So as you can see that in this entire paper is divided into, first they are talking about poverty alleviation. Okay. Poverty alleviation. Then they are talking about employment generation. So if we talk about poverty alleviation, how can you alleviate? Alleviation means eradication of poverty or bringing up the people above the below poverty line. So there are various ways. There are ways of creating employment for them, generating employment for them, and giving them jobs. Another option is to create opportunities for them for self entrepreneurship. Then there are programs to, since it deals with rural development programs, there are programs that there is a blog that talks about what are the various infrastructure facilities that would be given to the various programs and policies related to infrastructure development or natural resources development. And that is how this entire topic, this entire syllabus, if we look at it as a whole in a holistic manner, we'll be able to understand that what is the objective, what is the aim of the government. The government is trying to bring about poverty, trying to bring about rural development through its various programs, and these programs are all based on efforts towards employment generation, efforts towards wage employment, efforts towards providing them safe, healthy infrastructure. So all these things are being targeted, are being done by the government to ensure rural development. I will take a minute and would request you to tell me if you could think of any programs that are being run by your government for rural development, just as an introductory class, just for an introduction. Anybody? Can anyone think of any program, rural development program, that is very popular at your end in your country? Yes, Mr. Shamin?
Ma'am, unfortunately, we doesn't have the program up to now.
मैं ये पूछ रही हूँ कि कोई ऐसा ग्रामीण विकास से संबंधित ऐसा कोई कार्यक्रम है आपके यहाँ पर, आपके स्टेट में, आपके गांव में जो चलाया जाए, जिससे ज्यादा से ज्यादा ग्रामीण समाज उससे बेनिफिट कर रहे हैं, उनको फायदा हो रहा है वो, और सरकार उनके लिए कोई ऐसा कार्यक्रम, कोई पॉलिसी चला रखी है जिसके बारे में आप जिक्र करना चाहेंगे, बताना चाहेंगे?
नहीं मैम, ऐसा कोई प्रोग्राम नहीं है हमारे स्टेट में या तो हमारे कंट्री में।
Is that true? You don't have? वैसे मुझे ऐसा लगता नहीं है कि मिस्टर शमीम अगर आपकी मिनिस्ट्री ऑफ रूरल डेवलपमेंट है तो मिनिस्ट्री ऑफ रूरल डेवलपमेंट में प्रोग्राम एंड पॉलिसीज जरूर चल रही होंगी।
मैम वो
हाँ,
था,
Mr.
अभी
Zafar,
नहीं है। था, वो तो अभी
sorry,
नहीं है
ma'am.
ना, हमारे प्रॉब्लम्स है
अच्छा
अभी।
था, अब नहीं है। मिस्टर जफारी, आप कुछ कह रहे थे?
Ma'am, there are
Hi, madam.
lots of program, rural development program in our country. Since we have a specific ministry for that. One of the
मोहम्मद
most
वाली
popular.
थोड़ा तेज बोले। मोहम्मद वाली, आपकी आवाज बहुत कम आ रही है, तेज बोले। Be a little loud,
Am I
Mr.
loud?
Mohammed.
Am I loud and clear now?
Yes, better, better.
Okay, ma'am. We have lots of rural development program in Afghanistan since we have a specific ministry for that. One of the most popular program in our country is Citizen Charter, which is a copy of the Samuel Jung or New Village Movement from South Korea. That's the most popular rural development program in our country.
Okay. Would you like to throw some light on your program?
Sorry, couldn't hear you clearly, ma'am.
Would you like to throw some light on this? कुछ डिटेल्स बताएंगे इस प्रोग्राम के बारे में? Some details about this program?
Yeah, ma'am. It's this program basically focus on the almost all aspects of the rural development. But
Okay.
since, as I said before, that it's like a copy of the Samuel Leung or Samuel Londong, or we can say the New Village Movement, which started in 1970s in the South Korea. It's the program that the government helped people to develop their region by their own. Sometimes they have to have some share. I mean, the rural people, they have to take part in the program, and sometimes even they have to have the like a share of budget from their own. Uh, that's the general idea I can tell you.
Okay. Okay.
I hope I could get your question clearly.
Yes, yes, you could, you could.
That's what I
No, no,
meant.
good. Anybody else? Anybody else who would want to talk about some programs, would want to discuss some program?
Yes, madam.
Yes, please.
Hi. Yes. Actually, as Mr. Wali mentioned, we have had some programs actually before this government. Right now, we have some programs, rural development programs, which are being implemented through international NGOs in Afghanistan.
Okay.
For example, I'm working with a Norwegian NGO in Afghanistan that we have Empowering Rural Afghanistan, funded by Foreign Ministry of Norwegian country. So through this rural development program, we health and as well as for economic development of the rural societies, especially the women. So through this program, we reach the women, we empower them to build their economic like infrastructures, build their capacities to establish community-based self-helping groups. So through these programs, actually in the for example, in the agriculture sector, in economic development, so these programs are run by our projects, and there are some other NGOs that they are working for developing of, for example, we have in Badakhshan, Afghanistan now, Badakhshan Energy, which is a company. This project is going to work about $600 million to invest this amount for developing of the electricity and like improve Badakhshan in terms of electricity. And yeah, these are some of the programs that we have in the country, but all most of the important projects have been like stopped funding because of the situation. So but we are hopeful to get more programs. Right now, we have some, but they are not enough in Afghanistan to improve the rural communities, actually. Yeah, thank you.
Good. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for that insight. And after discussion and after what the two of you said and spoke, we can understand that efforts are being made towards rural development, but somehow they are not enough. And probably that is the reason. See, don't take this program that you are, this IGNU program, very lightly. There is a reason why these countries, why we have collaborated together to teach rural development. It's because we need to learn from each other. We need to learn from each other. We need to understand each other's programs and policies so that you can, in return, contribute to your government, contribute to your society, contribute in whichever way you can after this interaction that we have with each other. So, this is not merely an academic course, it is also a social responsibility. Why is it that I am sitting here and talking to you about or teaching you about rural development programs in India? Why? Why is it important for you to know what is happening in India? Or in fact, yes, Mr. Umair, why do you think it is important? Is that the, are you trying to answer to that question? So let me complete. I'll come back to you. So why is it that you're being taught about the rural development programs in India? Why is it that I'm talking about that our rural development programs are divided into poverty alleviation, and it talks about, see, if we actually divide it, so rural development in India, particularly related to this course, has been divided into poverty alleviation. Firstly, we bring them above poverty line, either through wage employment or through self-employment. That also is targeted towards rural development. Then we then we talk about how can we actually create employment for them. How can wage employment be created for them? How can self-employment be created for them? And then we talk about how their infrastructure also needs to be developed. So why do you need to know about all this? It's about India. Why do you want to know about India?
We need to know about the India so that we can take experience from what they have done, and we can get the knowledge that they got.
Perfect answer. Yes, Mr. Sayyed.
मैम,
हाँ,
सेकेंड वर्ल्ड वॉर के बाद इंडिया ने जब अपना आज़ादी लिया, तो जो प्रोग्राम आपने इंडिया में रन किया, तो आप मतलब कहाँ पे क्या कमी थी, कहाँ पे कौन सी प्रोग्राम आपने इंडिया में अप्लाई किया तो वो सक्सेसफुल था, तो इसके पढ़ने के बाद हम ये जो कमी है अपने देश में भी अप्लाई कर सकते हैं, क्योंकि इंडिया और अफगानिस्तान बोथ ऑफ देम इन एशिया कंट्रीज.
yes, definitely. Perfect. बिल्कुल सही उत्तर. हाँ, मिस्टर शखावत. No, मिस्टर शौकत अली. अरे शौकत अली जी से पूछा तो वो गायब हो गए. मिस्टर जफारी, मिस्टर जाफरी.
First of all,
Yes. Yes, madam, I think you called me. So I think it is because that India is also a developing country. So all the modalities of development are being currently implemented there, and it has a society, a diverse society where every kind of structure of development is currently being implemented there, and we can learn a lot of modalities and successful programs from India kind of development model, rural development model, and approaches to the poverty alleviation. So therefore it is important that we can learn everything about the India development approaches and get most of the successful approaches and can implement in our own country as well.
Yes, perfectly answered. Yes, Mr. Zahiullah. Mr. Zabihullah.
greetings, ma'am. I would like to add some information. India is a developed country. There's a lot of projects completed through the government of the India. So Afghanistan faced in war, the civil war. So we are not so developed such as India. As we read this information or gather this information, the programs that implemented through the government of India, it's a very need. It's very necessary to us to know how to cover, how to back programs. We have to work on poverty elevation, and so in Asia, India and Afghanistan has some similarity in the cultures and maybe also the poverty. Because of that, it's very necessary to us to follow, copy the way of some of these countries that tried their best to cover this poverty.
Absolutely correct. Absolutely correct. So after this discussion with all of you, we have come to certain common features and common things that all of you said. Firstly, is that both of us are developing countries. Secondly, our cultures, our histories are pretty close to each other. Thirdly, we are Asian countries. So that is the reason why this collaboration was made. And it's not merely to learn from India. It is also an interface, it is also an interaction, it is also an opportunity where we can learn from what is happening there. And this will happen through the dissertations that you do. So I am giving this introductory lecture particularly for you to um, when we go through our study material and when I'll be going through the study material, every topic that I would be discussing, every program and policy that I would be discussing and talking about, I request you to kindly think of a parallel program that is running on the likes of the program that I would be talking about. So if I would be talking about some program in which employment generation is the main objective, at the same time you should also think of a similar program that is being run in your country. And when you do your dissertations and when you do your dissertations eventually later on, I would request you to take a topic which you can draw a comparison between our programs and your programs, because while you would be definitely learning about the successes or the success, knowing about you will learn about the success stories of our programs, you will also understand the fallbacks, the drawbacks. A lot of policies that didn't work as successfully as they should have and were merged with other programs eventually in the course of time, you can learn from that also, so that you don't make the same mistakes. I would not call it a mistake that there was such a government initiative, nothing, all the efforts made by the government should definitely not be called a mistake, but whatever little experiences that we had, and as a result of those experiences, if we brought together two programs that were earlier running separately and we brought them together, so you don't need to run those programs separately and then merge them later. You can start from that merged policy, and this is a lesson that you can learn from the lesson that we have learned in a course of time. So coming back to the fact that we are undergoing this study, this course, particularly to benefit our society, to benefit uh, our people in whatever little way that we can, whether it is through writing articles, whether it is through analyzing your own programs and policies, whether it is through giving additions, inputs from what is happening here and making your program more enriched. That would be your ultimate goal. That would be your ultimate service to the country after this course. So I request you to take this course a little seriously and see it in the light of what and how it can be used to contribute. right? So now I'll be sharing the screen with the study material of Unit 1, and that would be Unit 1. Can you see it?
No, ma'am.
You can't. Just a minute. Poverty alleviation programs, a retrospect. Is it visible?
Yes, ma'am.
Can you see this program? Can you see the
Yes,
screen?
ma'am.
Is it visible on my?
Yes,
Perfect.
ma'am.
Yes,
Perfect.
please.
Right.
Yes,
So this
yes.
is Unit 1, and this Unit 1, in this Unit 1, we'll be talking about the poverty alleviation programs. Okay, I would just request, I'm giving you 2 minutes of a break, 2 minutes break, only for you to open this program on your computers if you want to, on your phones if you have it with you, and just give me 2 minutes so that we can discuss it after you have gone through it. Okay, just 2 minutes break.
Mom, in this free time, could I ask a question?
Yes, please go ahead.
Thank you, Mom. I just want to ask a very close question related to this subject.
Yes.
Mom, internationally and globally, we have 17 sustainable development goals. And
Okay.
hows we know that the most of the goals are very close to the rural development, such as
Yes.
no poverty, zero hunger, clean water and sanitation, and etc. Some goals. And the majority of governmental and international organizations working to maintain these goals. So, as a accommodation and institutions of the rural development recommend these goals for the rural developments.
I'm sorry, we.
So my question is that institutions are the field academician of the rural developments recommend these goals for the rural developments.
We command these rules for the rural development. May I am not able to understand your question. Yeah. Hello,
Yes, ma'am. My
Mr.
voice is
Mr.
clear.
Mr. Shaukat Ali.
Yes.
Yeah, you were saying that you were talking about the sustainable development goals and how these goals are mainly targeted towards rural development. I've understood the question from till there. Beyond that, I'm not able to understand.
Ma'am, my question was that how important are these goals for the rural development fields? Shortly.
See, the country, in fact, globally, everybody is well aware of the fact that all the, in fact, all the sustainable development goals are mainly are also, not all, I'm not saying that they are mainly, but majorly, I will say, majorly rural people are in its as a target group. See, what we need to understand, Mr. Shaukat, is that all these sustainable development goals are for the people of our country. People from all walks of life, and especially the marginalized. And the majority of the section of Indian society, the majority of the marginalized sections of Indian society lives in rural areas. So directly or indirectly, all the sustainable development programs are targeted or are aimed towards benefiting the rural people. They are aimed towards benefiting people per se. And since most of the people are staying in rural areas, that is why these programs automatically get targeted towards those rural areas or towards the rural people. Okay?
Well noted, ma'am. Thank you. Thank you
Okay.
for that.
Now,
Thank you.
thank you. Okay. Rural development program, tell you total counseling. Okay. Now we will be having we'll have 7 classes, including today's class, and we have around 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 blocks. Okay, there are 5 blocks. So I will take one block per day, which would mean that we'll be covering 5 blocks in 5 days. Maybe a 6th day would also be included in it, and uh, we can have the last 2 days for counseling, for question answers. I'm asking you, one program, we can either do it this way, or the other way of doing it is that I take classes for 1.5 hours, and in the last half an hour we can discuss about anything that you want to. Which is, do you think, a better way? Which is a better way?
मैम, क्या आप हिंदी में बता सकते हैं कि आपने क्या कहा?
मैंने ये बोला कि हमारे पास 7 दिन है, मैं 7 लेक्चर्स आप लोगों का लूंगी, ठीक है? 7 लेक्चर्स के अंदर हमारे पास, एक सेकंड, 7 लेक्चर्स के अंदर हमारे पास ऑप्शन ये है कि मैं आपका या तो मैं, और 5 ब्लॉक्स हमको करने हैं, ठीक है? तो मेरे पास एक ऑप्शन तो ये है कि मैं आप लोगों को 5 दिनों में 5 ब्लॉक्स करा दूं, और आखिरी के 2 दिन में 2 जो क्लासेस सेशंस बचेंगे उसमें हम लोग क्वेश्चन आंसर्स करें। दूसरा ऑप्शन ये है कि हम लोग जब एक ब्लॉक खत्म कर लें तो हम लोग 15-20 मिनट का क्वेश्चन आंसर्स कर लें। कौन सी चीज आप लोग को बेहतर लगती है? विच सूट्स यू बेटर?
दोनों में कोई दिक्कत नहीं है मैम, लेकिन हमारे जो एलएमएस के हमने जो डाउनलोड किया था, यहाँ पे सिर्फ 4 ब्लॉक्स है, मतलब 4 ब्लॉक है। 5वां ब्लॉक तो हमने डाउनलोड नहीं किया है, मतलब हमारे एलएमएस में अभी तक अपलोड नहीं हुआ है। तो जो आपकी
हो सकता है 4 ब्लॉक्स हो, हो सकता है 4 ब्लॉक्स हो, हो सकता है 4 ब्लॉक्स हो। मैं आपकी तरफ से थोड़ा कंफ्यूज भी हो गई होंगी, क्योंकि मेरे पास जो पहले जो मटेरियल आया था उसके अंदर 4 ब्लॉक्स थे, 5 ब्लॉक्स थे। चलिए, दैट इज नॉट इम्पोर्टेंट, वो ज्यादा जरूरी नहीं है। तो हम लोग यही क्या करेंगे, काम करेंगे, हम लोग हर यूनिट को, हर ब्लॉक को कंप्लीट करने के बाद उस पर क्वेश्चन आंसर्स कर लेंगे, एंड देन वी प्रोसीड टुवर्ड्स द अदर ब्लॉक।
ओके मैम,
ठीक है, आई थिंक दैट इज अ बेटर वे। अब मैं आप लोगों को ये डेस्कटॉप पे लेकर के यूनिट 1 में खोल रही हूँ। बेटा क्लास चल रहा है मेरा। ओके, कैन यू सी द प्रोग्राम? स्क्रीन शेयर हो रही है?
नो मैम।
अभी होगी।
لطیف‌الله مشعل مایک لطفا خاموش بکنین.
Okay. Can you see the screen now?
Yes ma'am.
Perfect. अभी दिख रहा है? अब
जी
मैं
मैम,
स्क्रॉल
जी।
कर रही हूँ नीचे, ये जो स्क्रॉल हो रहा है दिख रहा है आपको? स्क्रॉलिंग दिख रही है, नीचे जा रही हूँ मैं?
Yes ma'am. Yes ma'am.
ओके, राइट। सो अब आपको जैसे कि आप सामने देख सकते हैं, यूनिट 1 डील्स विद पॉवर्टी एलिविएशन प्रोग्राम्स. So what is the objective? You need to understand the objective of this blog is that you will be able to understand what is the concept of rural development. You will be able to understand what is poverty. You will be able to understand why there is a need to alleviate poverty. We will be discussing about the various strategies that have been adopted by the government for poverty alleviation time and again. And we will also talk about the steps that have been taken by the government to alleviate the poverty through various programs. And in the end, we will be discussing about what is the impact that these various programs have had on the rural people. Again, as you can see, these objectives are to make you understand the importance of poverty alleviation programs in rural development. I'm going through the study material because it is this study material through which will, from which the exams or your assignments are going to come. So you need to understand the study material very well. Going through the entire study material and spoon feeding you will not be possible. So it's very important for you to go through these things, through these programs, and then we can discuss it. Because this is not a lecture series, it is actually a counseling session. In counseling sessions, what happens is that we discuss about those things which you have not been able to understand while reading your material, or maybe some interaction that you want to do, because you are not students of class 3 or 4 that I read out something and then explain it to you verbatim. It has to be more interactive, it has to be more of a discussion, so that we can cull out much more information than merely we can do through reading something. Okay, so let me go through the study material for you so that you know exactly what are the points, and those things which you are not able to understand, we will discuss it in detail. Right. So what, as you can see that this unit we talk about the various poverty alleviation program, and uh, you can relate to what we'll be reading right now, because we are very close to each other. We understand that in all the countries where we have, which is an which has agriculture based economies, there is a need for intervention at the rural level, at the agricultural land level. And that is why all these programs and all these policies which talk about upliftment are mainly about the marginalized people. It's for the farmers, especially those farmers which are small, which have marginal land holdings, which are not able to fend enough through agriculture, and they need an extra support so as to be able to live life in a respectable and economically better way, to live an economically better life. These agricultural, so if we talk about rural people, so the most vulnerable, who will, okay, let me ask you this question. If we talk about an agricultural society, who are the most vulnerable, most needy people of rural societies? What is your take?
Farmers, I think.
Farmers, okay. Anybody else?
I think those persons who wander most, they have not lands to grow
Crops, okay.
crops. Yeah.
Who don't have enough land
Also,
holdings, very good.
there in margins. Also, in Afghanistan, we witness of a wonder of farmers also. Because
Very nice.
they do not have any good agriculture irrigation projects implemented there. They can not sell final uh, their final output to sell to gain money because of nothing. Warehouse to keep this their crops and to sell. I hope you understand.
Madam, as well the disguised unemployed portion of the society and the women as well.
Yes, okay. Okay. We'll stop here. We'll stop here. You have started a discussion and we'll stop here. Now I'm reframing my question. In any society, who are the okay, fine. Let me reframe it. Sorry. Any society, any government, if they are making programs and policies, they will make it for which section? Tell me. I need one word. That most of the programs and policies are made for the dash section of the society. What would be that word?
Poor.
The population
Poor
of
class
the
of the
country.
society.
Poor, okay. One word is poor. Other word?
Ma'am, can I add something?
मेरा सवाल है कि अगर सरकार या गवर्नमेंट प्रोग्राम पॉलिसीज बनाती है तो वो मुख्यतः किन लोगों के लिए बनाती है, किन के लिए वो किन पर केंद्रित होता है, किन के लिए वो किनको संज्ञान में रखकर, किनको जहन में रख करके वो प्रोग्राम पॉलिसीज बनाई जाती है मुख्यतः, मेनली?
So, Ma'am,
I mean
sorry for
the
interruption. We are raising the hands and waiting for your permission because in the same time, maybe 3 to 4 of our classmates want to add some things. So if you could just through the handing raising, if you just allow us, we will just try to add some things. In my case, as you mentioned that actually, so you know that everyone has the definition of the government. But of course, the government is a structure for the population of a country. So mainly the policy you're making for the community, those who are living in a country, especially for those who are living in a remote area, as you mentioned, the marginalized people,
Okay.
who are
You are talking about the fine. So you are talking about that programs and policies are mainly targeted towards the community. Okay. I will give an answer by the after taking a culmination of all your answers. Most of the programs and policies, if a government is preparing them and making them, it is then made for the marginalized sections, the ones who are on the margins, the ones who are जो हाशिए पर होते हैं, जो कोने पे होते हैं, जो किनारे में होते हैं, जिनके पास जो मुख्य धारा से नहीं जुड़े होते हैं, जो मेन स्ट्रीम से नहीं होते हैं, those people who are not from the mainstream and to whom the program and policies are not able to penetrate directly, and extra efforts are made so that the programs reach them. So, coming back to what we were discussing, that if we talk about the rural population, population, then it is mainly the marginalized sections of the rural society. And who are the marginalized sections? The marginalized sections are actually the farmers. They are the farmers who are the the marginal farmers who have small land holdings, as one of the learners said. Then we have women, as one of the learners said, because women don't have land in their names. We have children whom nobody cares for in the rural areas. So these are the sections which, who, and for whom the programs are made. Marginalized, we are talking about farmers who have no land holdings. We are talking about those rural dwellers who have no means of livelihood. We are talking about the rural poor. We are talking about the rural poor women. And this is what you will see as we scroll down, that the poverty in India is is a problem, and that is why India has adopted an approach towards poverty alleviation. And there are various community development programs that have been enlisted, that have been made for the small farmers, they have been made for the marginal farmers, they have been made for the agricultural laborers. So you need to understand that if we are talking about a rural society and if we are talking about farmers, as one of the learners said, then farmers are also divided into different categories. We have big farmers who have enough of land, who are minting enough of money, who have large land holdings, who are large landlords, and they are not the ones who are poor merely because of the name farmers. That doesn't mean that they are poor. We have very, 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 very rich farmers. But the farmers that need the attention of the government are actually the small farmers. Small means who have very little land holdings, small land holdings. We have marginal farmers who have smaller holdings than uh, even the small farmers. And then we have these agricultural laborers who don't have a land of their own and are actually tilling on the land of others and taking as laborers and are taking wages out of it. It is for them, it is them who are actually the poor farmers. So these poverty alleviations programs are mainly targeted towards their upliftment. Okay, now as I am just scrolling down that now we have poverty alleviation programs, and under the poverty alleviation programs, in fact, under this unit, we will be talking about IRDP, that is an integrated rural development program. We'll be talking about TRISEM, that is the training of rural youth for self-employment. We'll be talking about Dwakra, that is the development of women and children in rural areas. We'll be talking about uh, MWS, that is a Million Well Scheme. We'll be talking about Sitra, that is the supply of improved toolkit for rural artisans, and then Ganga Kalyan Yojana. Please, uh, these are the these are the programs that were taken up and have been taken up by the Ministry of Rural Development in India. So just go through it, see them, look at it. I have been taking a class for an hour. Let's take a 10 minutes break and we can come back again. In the meantime, I want you to see. I will not be, again, I'm repeating myself. I will not be spoon feeding you. We'll be taking these programs, discussing it, and seeing it in the light of the programs that you already have in your country. We'll talk about the highlights of this point. We'll talk about why these programs were such a success. And the assignment and your assignments will be based on these programs only, where you will be asked about what are the characteristic features of uh, maybe IRDP, maybe TRISEN. So you should know each of these programs in detail. You should know, you should be able to write long answers related to these programs, and also short answers about them if it is to be uh, clubbed in a few lines. So we'll be taking a 5 minutes break, a 10 minutes break. I hope till now it's been comfortable hearing from this end. Is there anything that you would want to tell me right now? I am willing for another 2 minutes. If there is any question, I'll take your questions for 2 minutes, and then we'll take a 10 minutes break, and then we'll come back again to our class. Anything that you would want to know? Okay, so since there are no questions, please, these programs, I would want you to just go through them. I will also go through them right now in these 10 minutes for you to understand what is this program all about, and and also to think of a parallel program, something like this, which is running in your country, and see the features and compare the features. You can't do it right now in 10 minutes, but while discussing with each other, maybe we'll be able to talk about some central schemes which the others, if can look it up later on once the class is over. Some central schemes that are running in your country related to these schemes, and the whoever discusses it will benefit, the others will benefit from him or her, and we'll be able to know that something similar to this is also running in your country. So we'll take a 10 minutes break. Yes, Mr. Shamim, क्या कहना है आपको?
मैम, अगर इस 10 मिनट में आप एक बार अफगानिस्तान की सिचुएशन में बारे में गूगल में सर्च करेंगे तो बहुत ही मेरी नज़र से अच्छा होगा, क्योंकि हमारे पॉलिटिकल सिचुएशन कुछ ठीक नहीं है। शायद पता नहीं आप न्यूज़ सुनते होंगे या नहीं, जो 2021 के बाद जो चेंजेस आया है ना हमारे गवर्नमेंट में, अभी तक तो दुनिया के ऐसा कोई गवर्नमेंट पहचानता नहीं अभी इस गवर्नमेंट को। तो पॉलिटिकल प्रॉब्लम बहुत ज़्यादा है। पैरेलल प्रोग्राम पिछले 20 साल में भी जब इंडिया का एम्बेसी यहाँ पर था, पूरे वर्ल्ड यहाँ पे आया था, तो ऐसा कोई पैरेलल या सेम प्रोग्राम नहीं है। तो मुश्किल ये है कि ये फर्स्ट टाइम है कि हमने पहली बार है कि पढ़ रहे ऐसा जनरेशन जो कभी ऐसा प्रोग्राम था ही नहीं। तो सिविल वॉर है, जो भी मसला है, तो हमारे देश में ऐसा कोई प्रोग्राम है ही नहीं, तो हम जब कुछ है ही नहीं, किस चीज़ के बारे में बात करें। हाँ, ये पहला ब्लॉक मैंने पढ़ लिया है, तो यहाँ पे कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं है। मतलब कि जो मेरे मन में सवाल होगा कि ये क्यों हुआ, क्यों नहीं हुआ, तो बस ये इन्फॉर्मेशन आपके साथ शेयर करना चाहता हूँ।
बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद शमीम। और ऐसा नहीं है कि मैं वाकिफ नहीं हूँ अफगानिस्तान में क्या हो रहा है, मुझे बिल्कुल पता है क्या हो रहा है, लेकिन मैं बार बार आपका ध्यान इस बात पर आकर्षित करना चाहती हूँ या डालना चाहती हूँ कि क्योंकि आपकी मिनिस्ट्री ऑफ रूरल अफेयर्स है, मिनिस्ट्री ऑफ रूरल डेवलपमेंट है, तो ये ज़रूरी है कि जो कुछ भी कार्यक्रम, जो कुछ भी प्रोग्राम्स आपके चल रहे हैं, आप उनको एक बार पुनः जागृत करने की, आप एक बार ये समझने की कि वो प्रोग्राम्स किस हद तक जनता तक पहुंच पा रहे हैं, ये आपको जानने की ज़रूरत है। और यही कारण है कि हम ग्रामीण समाज का इस प्रोग्राम का माध्यम कर रहे हैं, सो दैट हम लोग वापस उन चीज़ों को ज्वलंत कर पाएं जो कहीं बुझ रही हैं। तो ये आज एक चर्चा, क्योंकि एक चर्चा का एक मौका मिला है, सोचने का एक मौका मिला है, कुछ कर गुजरने का कुछ मौका मिला है, तो इसको इस मौके को हम अपने हाथ से नहीं गंवाना चाहते हैं। यही कारण है कि मैं आपसे बार-बार कह रही हूँ कि ये जो कार्यक्रम हमारे यहाँ चल रहे हैं, उससे मिलते-जुलते छोटे-मोटे, छोटा ज़रा-सा भी कुछ रिलेटेड हो, तो उस पर अपना ध्यान केंद्रित करें और कोशिश करें कि वो पुनः जागृत करने के लिए हम सरकार को लिख पाएँ या कुछ कर पाएँ। So just take 5 minutes and think of it in that light, that even if in a minuscule of an effort or program or policy that is running is parallel to these, we can take it up and discuss it. Okay, it is 2:13 in my clock, and we will meet at 2:23 in 10 minutes. See you.
Ma'am,
Matiullah ji, we'll meet after 10 minutes. फिर मैं आपसे बात करूंगी. We'll talk after that.
okay, ma'am, since it's Friday, so we wouldn't meet after 10 minutes. It will take at least 20 minutes.
Yes.
I mean that after prayer we will be here.
Sir, our class will get over at 3 o'clock. Do you have to go somewhere?
For prayer, it's Friday today,
What time?
so
What time do you have to go for your prayer?
so we will be 1:25. So it will take 20 minutes at least.
So all of you want to go for a prayer, and should we meet after 20 minutes?
Ma'am, sorry for interruption. Actually, so the time for the Friday prayer is different in each location of the country. I'm talking about the
Oh,
Afghanistan. So, in case if there is possibility, as other session that we already hold by us with other professors, it would be very good to schedule it during 4 o'clock, after 4 o'clock, because in this time. Actually, so all of the students or have to pray for the Friday prayers. You know that it takes almost 1 hour. But
okay.
in case there is a possibility, you can just kindly discuss with the management team to schedule this session. Same with the other
So can we
session in
schedule?
the
Can we
afternoon.
schedule this? Okay. So can we schedule this these classes on Thursday?
No, it's actually fine to hold it in the Friday, but it would be good to have this session in the afternoon. I mean,
Acha, just
after
give me
two
a second.
o'clock.
Give me 1 minute.
Mhm.
I'll just come back. Just give me a minute.
All right, ma'am. دوستان موافق هستین اگر که ما این اسکیجول بکنیم به وقتایی که مثل دیگه سشن ها میشه ساعت 3 تا 4 بجه خوبتر به نظرتون نیست که راحتتر ما و شما باشیم؟
نوید جان حرفتان خیلی درست است ولی از روز جمعه تغییر نکنه، فقط تایمش تغییر بکنه که یا از طرف صبح شوه یا از طرف
گفتم
بعد.
این از طرف بعد از شاشت باشه، مثلا از ساعت 4 بجه یا 3 بجه یا دقیقا سشن های دیگه که ما و شما گرفتیم همون رقم باشه خوبتر است، چون که معمولا این زمان شروع میشه که
Ha,
ما
hello.
مثلا در بدخشان ساعت 1 بجه نماز میخوانیم و
Navidullah.
همچنان. یس مم.
Okay. So, Mr. Navidullah and everybody, Acha, suno. Uh, is everybody here or have they left?
Uh, I think we have the classmates here.
Everybody
Almost
is here,
14
nobody is
people are,
left?
yeah, almost
Okay.
14 people are there,
I
but
took them to
it's
take,
expected to be more than.
no. I asked them to take a 10 minutes break. I hope they are not muted themselves and have gone out for the, let's give 5 more minutes. Let people come back, okay?
All right, ma'am.
And then we'll discuss this. And I would require, we'll discuss this up, okay?
All right, ma'am. Thank you.
I gave 10 minutes, it's already 2:17. So let's just give 5 minutes, and anybody who has to go for a prayer can go for today. And they can, if they have any questions, we can take it up later. Just give yourself 10 minutes break and let people come back. Because
All
people
right, so
might have muted and gone.
yeah, we are just internally discussing with our classmates about the time schedules, ma'am. So that is why we switched to our local language.
No, that's okay. That's okay. That's okay.
Yeah.
But I
Yeah,
just
okay.
feel that everybody is not there. They might have just muted themselves and gone for a washroom. So just wait for 5 minutes, let people come back, and then we'll discuss.
All right. All right, ma'am. Thank you.
Okay.
نوید جان هم تایمش هر تایمی رو که میگین مشکل نیست، ولی همین روز جمعه تغییر نکنه چون اکثرا کار و وظیفه و طرفا میریم. همین روز جمعه باشه، تایمش هر تایمی که باشه مشکل نمیشه. ما موافق هستم که طرف بعد از ظهر شب مثل سایر درس‌های ما که ساعت 4 تا 6 است.
بله چون در این تایم خوب حتما همه ما شما با وقت نماز جمعه هم داریم دیگر. کوشش میکنیم که باز صحبت بکنیم که اگر شب تغییر کنه که بعد از شاش باشد ساعت 4 بجه هم مثل سشن های دیگر رو که راحت‌تر ما و شما چی کنیم. نصرت الله جان مایک صدا داره از خیرت اگر میوت کنی. نصرت الله جان ما صدات هم نمیشنویم و صدایت خیلی مایک فوتو میته.
بله.
نصرت الله جان ولی صداتون درست شده. اگر چیزی میخواستی اضافه کنی از بیادر.
بیادر عزیز سلام برای همگی. خدا کند که اوقات خوش داشته باشین. ما خودم اولین بار است که در اینجا جاین شدیم دیگه. از اسکیجولی از هم خبر ندارم که دیگه روزای فرض کنیم روزای شنبه و دیگه کدام تایم هستن. روز جمعه فرق نمیکنه که در وقتی باشه ما حاضر هستیم که اشتراک بکنیم. اگر این دیگه روزا اگر میشه روزای شنبه یا دیگه چون ما وظیفه داریم اگر اینی رو بعد از 4 بجه در وقت افغانستان یا 5 بجه اگر امیر رسید بکنین موافق است دوستا یا نیست؟ یک دفعه نظرتان
ما
خواستم
روی
بیادر.
همین صحبت کردیم نصرت جان. اول درباره اسکیجولا براتون بگیم که در واتساپ اسکیجولا شریک شده. شما مطمئن هستم در گروپ هستین. بالاتر کمک اسکرول کنین در جو اسکیجولا که کدام روزا سشن ها هست از کدام تاپیک ها هست همش نوشته است تاریخ وار با
خب
تایم که تایمش هم تایم ایندیا است. او را شما میتونید
آها.
در گروه واتساپ پیدا بکنین و بعد موضوعی که به شما هم تایم ما فیت است مشکل ندارد اما باید عموم فکر کنیم چون دیگر دوستا ما خواهشم کردن به خاطر که وقت نماز جمعه است. ما تلاش به
بله
این کردیم که گفتیم صحبت بکنیم حداقل برنامه همه ما و شما مصروفیت و کار داریم در روزهای
دقیقا
رسمی.
همین
معمولا
دیگه
روزهای جمعه و
ببخشین
شنبه بیکار است. بله
دقیقا دینا و دیگه روزا را که کسایی که رسمیات داره دیگه را امیر بعد از رسمیات ما شما تنظیم بکنیم امکانش هست یعنی مثلا از روز
هر
شنبه
روز
تا
امیر
پنج
کم
شنبه
است
داشته
نصرت الله جان. روزهای دیگر هم که برگزار میشه به خصوص در
خب
سشن های دیگر که ما داشتیم از ساعت 4 به وقت افغانستان شروع میشه که یک وقت خوب بود. دیگر
بله
فقط
بله
همین اسکیجوالش یک ذره مطابقت نمیکرد. دیگر به
خب
مو خاطر آن انشالله صحبت میکنیم اگر در صورت امکانیتی هم تغییر بتن بعد از اوقات یا رسمی یا دقیقا ساعت 4 بجه روز جمعه.
خیر این مشکل نیست. جمعه در وقت شما تغییر میدونم روزایی که رسمیات هست امورا که بعد از 4 و 4 نیم بجه وقت افغانستان هست خوب است. تشکر.
بخیر باشید.
سلامت باشید.
Okay, सब लोग वापस आ गए?
Yes, ma'am.
हाँ, सब लोग वापस आ गए?
I'm present, ma'am.
Okay.
Me too.
Okay. चलिए, अभी हम लोग एक बात पे चर्चा कर रहे थे कि आप लोगों को फ्राइडे नमाज के लिए जाना होता है, तो आप लोगों को अभी आपका क्या टाइम हो रहा है? What is the time right now?
You are not
1:25.
loud and clear, ma'am.
What is the time right now at your place?
It's
1:25, ma'am. 1:25.
1:25.
And what time do you have to generally go for the prayers?
Actually, ma'am, the Friday prayers takes almost 1 to 1.5 hours to be completed because there is also discussions. But by the way, that at least it takes 1 hour to be completed. And I just went through the schedules for the others MRD schedules. They already set for 5:30 on Indian time, and only your session is scheduled on 1 o'clock in Indian time. So we also had a discussion with some of our classmates here joining the group. So they are also requesting, in case there is possibility, if you could just kindly discuss with the management team to set your sessions times same with the other sessions, which will be conducting. It will be much appreciated.
Okay. Okay. So there is one option of me taking classes later on Thursday, or sorry, on Friday at 5 o'clock according to Indian Standard Time as scheduled for the other teachers. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, ma'am.
And another option is that, think about it, that instead of taking a class on Friday, I can take a class on Thursday or on Saturday from 1 to 3. 1 to 3 Indian
Ma'am,
Standard Time.
yeah, so actually there is also another problem because during the official days, you know that most of the participants are working, they are employed. So that is why it will be a little bit hard. But in case if it will be after 5:30 Indian time, in the other days will be also okay. But during the official hours, I think it will be also an issue.
Okay. Okay. Fine. Okay. So you want the class from 5:30 to 7:30.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Actually, it will be end of the business hours, and of course, most of the participants will be able to join.
Is everybody okay with this?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, fine. Then, okay. Then I'll speak to the people and see what can be done about it. Okay?
Appreciate
Okay,
it,
ma'am.
ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Okay. So now we come back to our screen. So we have the Integrated Rural Development Program.
Hello, teacher. Are you hearing me?
Yes, I can hear you.
I think your sound is not clear for us because your sound reflect badly. I don't know. It's my problem or it's the problem for all of us.
Please ask others.
I think it
No,
is
the sound is
yours
clear.
because it is loud and clear for us.
It's clear, ma'am. It's clear.
It's clear for us.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. So I suggest that you do one thing, that you probably should change your place. Try and change your place and take a class from somewhere else.
Okay.
It is mostly because of the internet connection.
I understand. I totally understand. Okay. So, okay. So, as we were talking, that there are these programs. I hope you have opened your study material. Do you have your study
Yes, ma'am.
material with you? Okay, perfect.
Yes, ma'am.
So if we, I'm not sharing the study material right now. But as we can see from block 1, we have poverty alleviation and employment generation programs. Unit 1. Unit 1 is are the poverty alleviation programs, and okay. So if we actually look at page number 13. Can you come to page number 13? Under page number 13, they have given the details about the Integrated Rural Development Program. Now, this Integrated Rural Development Program was launched by the Ministry of Rural Development in India, and it was in 1978 and 79 that the small scale farmers and the other programs and all the other development the development programs for the small scale farmers and marginalized farmers, they were all merged together into a single scheme, and this started to be known as the Integrated Rural Development Program. And initially it was introduced only in 2000 blocks, and by the year 1980 it expanded to the other blocks in the country also, and the main objective of this program was to help alleviate the families uh, um, was to help alleviate the families of the target group. Okay, now under this program, just a minute. Another such program which in India is a major success is the Mahatma Gandhi National Rural Employment Generation Act. Initially, it was just a scheme, but later on it was converted into an act. This is a very important, let me call it an act. It is related to the employment generation, and it aims at providing 100 days of employment to the people of rural areas. Now, let me ask you a question. What do you think? Why do you think? Supposingly there is a program, and in this program, the aim of the program is to provide employment to the rural people within the areas within their place of residence. Wherever they are staying, jobs are provided to them within the periphery, within the areas of their places of stay, in their own villages. उनके ही गांव में उनको नौकरी, उनको रोजगार उपलब्ध कराने की बात की जाती है. What do you think could be the benefits? What do you think could be the benefit of providing jobs to people in their own area of their residence? क्या फायदा होता है?
Immigration could be avoided by it.
What could be avoided?
Immigration.
Immigration. Very good. Very good. Very nice. Anybody else?
So can I add something, ma'am?
Yes.
So but I think mostly the goal of this project was to increase the generate income of the community. So and as well as to help the economic of the situation, the local economy of situation of the each village. It means that they targeted each village, they provided job opportunities for them to at least the economy of that has been somehow change, because it is of course it will affect in the bigger picture.
Very nice. Absolutely clear. But my question again is that we have, I mean, I could offer a job to a person and say that here is a job for you, and you need to leave your village and you need to go to this other place in the city, and this job is available for you. But no, I did not give him a job. I did not give him a job outside his village. I said, here is a job for you within, here is an opportunity for you to work within your own village. Why is that beneficial? Um, I was just told by one of the learners that it helped in stopping migration. So why is migration a problem?
Well, ma'am, can I add something?
Why is migration a problem?
Can I add something, ma'am?
Who is this? Yes, yes, Mr. Mia Abdul.
According to my perspective, working in someone else's village can have two opportunity for them. First of all, the village will improve by implementing some project in their own village. Additionally, he can avoid the fee of traveling to another city or renting some house for them. He can save their income, and it will be helpful for them.
Very nice. Perfect. Perfect. So, anybody else? Mr. Mr. Hussaini. Mr. Hussaini, you raised your hand. Mohammed Hussain.
Ma'am, can I add something?
Yeah, please.
Yeah, providing a job for the people in their own village can benefit them in many ways. As our professor said about the migration, there can be also the preservation of local culture. When people have job opportunities in their own village, they are more likely to say and preserve their local culture. And then there can be an increased productivity. When we are providing jobs for the people in the villages and having local works and uh, local people, like when we have the people from their own in their from the same village in the work, that can increase the productivity.
Okay. Right. Okay. So, one thing we can definitely say is that this Manrega, Mahatma Gandhi National Employment Generation Act, is what Unit 2 talks about, is an act, is an effort which brought job opportunities or which gave job opportunities with guaranteed wages, 100 days of wage work. It guaranteed 100 days of wage work within the residential area, within the place, in the villages where the people were staying. Now, an ideal answer for you to write would be if you equate it with migration, as you all have very correctly said, and how migration can be a big problem for people. We all know that migration, that is because of migration, that we have slums that come into being, we have health issues that arise in these slums. We know that people the infrastructural facilities are not very well organized in villages, in the cities where these migrants come and stay. We know the pressure, the density of population increases in an area, creating other problems of housing and livelihood. So, if migration is stopped, then a lot of urban problems can also be countered, can also be worked upon. So this was a very good scheme by the government where it said that you will get 100 days of employment, and whatever work, all the civil work of the villages, whether it is construction of wells, it is construction of drains, or it is reclamation of land, or it is reclamation of water bodies, all the things, all the infrastructures, all the natural resources and its um, development or maintenance, and all the civil work related to such rural areas, the work is now provided through Manrega, that is the Mahatma Gandhi National Employment Generation Act, and given to the villagers, for which they are made their payments and given payments. So under this unit, you will see the details about what are the salient features of this act, how these wage rates are ensured, what is the transparency and accountability that has been put in place so as to ensure that no middleman is taking benefit out of the pockets of the poor people. The real work reaches the uh, the real work reaches the real needy. There are mechanisms, there are ways in which this there are ways which have been put in place so as to ensure that this policy is a success. It is a very interesting act, and as much in the time span that I can explain to you about Manrega, every scheme I'll be giving you a gist, an idea, so that it ignites that curiosity in you and you go and read it. I can give you a summary of each act, but the details have to be done through the study material. About the study material, whichever point you, after going through it, if you want to discuss it, see, like for example, today we have done, since we had an introductory lecture and all that, so we went a little slow, but today we have done we've done 2 units. On an average, we will try and do 3. There are total, there are out of 4 blocks, I presume that there are around 15, there are around 20 units. So, and we have 7 days. So, on an average, if we do around 3 units per day, we'll be able to manage it in 7 days. So, I have been able to do 2 units today. Next time, instead of doing 3, I'll try and do 4 units. And but my request is that please go through unit 1 and unit 2 of your study material, so that we can discuss it in the next in the next session. As of now, I still have 15 minutes left, so we can take up another unit, and that is, I think, of the other unit is of the various wage employment programs. So one program we spoke about was we just spoke about Mahatma Gandhi National Employment Generation Act. Please go through it, understand it, and it's a very interesting and uh, a lot can be learned from this program. Go through it and see if there is something like that, even close to it, which is there in your country, and we can discuss it in our next session. Unit 4 talks about the wage employment programs, and the various wage employment programs would mean that these are those programs for which wages are given to the rural people. And wages are given to those people who work on it, and uh, it is ensured that it reaches the beneficiaries, as I said earlier, without any middleman trying to make benefit and profit out of it. So any kind of a rural development strategy, it emphasizes on generation of employment opportunities and poverty alleviation by providing them facilities to meet the minimum needs. The rural people and their minimum needs of the poor people should be met, and that is what is always the aim of any kind of an employment generation program in India. And and the objective of all these programs is to provide employment and income to the rural people. So it is through various employment generation schemes and programs and policies through which the rural poor are able to generate an income for themselves, and with the generation of income they are able to fend for themselves, and ultimately resulting in the poverty alleviation of the rural poor. So the programs that have been mentioned over here are the Rural Works Program. So these are all the these are all the programs that that are targeted to providing employment opportunities to those laborers who are not able to grow anything during the off seasons. So, for examples, for example, for example, a mango grower. So we have mango growing in a particular season, and you know that India is a major mango producing belt, and even in India, Uttar Pradesh and that part, the northern Gangetic plains are the part where we have mangoes growing, or a lot of other seasonal crops that grow. So during the time when the farmers are having their off season for the crops, whether it is mangoes or sugar cane or maybe all the commercial cash crops through which they are able to make money, and nothing else can be grown on the fields because of the specificity of the crop that they grow otherwise in the season, they are left unemployed. So this program is aimed for those farmers who are left unemployed or wageless or moneyless, for that matter of fact, unemployed is not the right word, who are not able to grow anything in their crops during the off season. This program is for mainly for them, for the farmers during the off season. And it was also a program that has been launched for the unskilled labor, and it was taken up in this program is taken up in high population unemployment and underemployment areas, And there were certain limitations, of course, of this program, which can be looked upon later. But the main objective was to provide employment to the unemployed, landless laborers, or those farmers who were not able to grow, who needed help during the off season. Then there is a rural manpower program. This was also launched in the 1960s, and the objective was this program was to provide additional employment opportunities to those people who were not able to make enough during the, again, it was during the off season. During the off season, the word that we are using is that additional opportunity or additional employment. They were already employed in the seasonal during the seasons, but additional employment opportunities were provided for them so that they can live a respectable life during the off seasons also. Then there was a cash scheme that for the rural employment, and the objective was to generate employment in all the district through labor intensive schemes and the production of assets of durable nature. So here again, uh, uh, the preference was given to those families in which there was no in which no adult member was employed. So if they saw that there is a family which does not have an adult working in it, they could. It was understood that it is that this family is going through a difficult time where the bed earner is not able to earn. So this scheme was put in place for such people, an opportunity, and priority was given to the people who were families in which the adult was not employed. So there were a lot of other such schemes which you can go through it. Because of the paucity of time, I will leave 5-7 minutes for us to discuss whatever we did. There are these, and there are around, I think, 5 or 7 schemes. No, sorry, not 7. There are around 10 to 11 schemes that have been discussed. I would request you to please go through them. Few of the very, very important ones are the National Rural Employment Program, which is known as NREP. Then there is a Food for Work program. In Food for Work, this program was that instead of giving cash, food was given to people in terms of their labor. Why do you think, what do you think could be the reason that instead of giving them cash, food was given in terms of the labor provided? What do you think could be could
Ma'am,
have been?
yeah. So actually, because of the poverty, that mostly these food against the work will mostly happening as we are also experiencing it nowadays in Afghanistan because of the increased rate of the poverty. Actually, I'm working with the United Nations, so one of the organization, the WFP World Food Program, are actually implementing this project nowadays in Afghanistan. So mostly we are targeting the because of the increase on the poverty, and this is also the easiest ways to just give them the humanitarian aid, which was actually free. But because of this, we can just improve the situation of a village, for example. We can just go through the food on work. We can just make some road, some irrigation canals and other things via through this program. So that is why I think that this is only a easy way to just target it, the professional and mostly non-professional people here who do not have any enough skills, but they are just can work and they
Okay,
receive
okay,
some kind of
understood.
skills.
Right. But my question again remains that why do you think that instead of giving them money for the wages, for the labor that they did, food was given? What do you think would have initially food was not given? Initially they were given money, but then eventually, I mean, if we started, as I was just saying, in 1960s, there were these wage generation programs, and there were these full employment programs, and there were these cash programs, and there was instant cash given for instant work, daily wages, daily work, not monthly. But there came a time that we had to suddenly think of giving them food for work and not cash for work.
Well, ma'am, can I add something?
Yes, please.
One of the reasons can be sustainability, because giving cash may provide temporary relief, but giving tools to the labor allow them to work and earn a sustainable income over the long period of time. This
Very
can
nice.
be
Very nice. Very nice. Anybody else? Anybody else? Yes. Yes, Mr. Maya Abdul.
Thank you, ma'am, for giving me the chance. According to my perspective, giving wages and money can help them to provide everything they need for food. But additionally, they need some feed for their children, for the rent of the houses, and others. They can cover every need by money, not only by food.
Okay.
and I speak a little bit about
Mr.
this
Zafri.
in Afghanistan.
Yes, madam, thank you for giving me the chance. So I think it depends on the situation that which modality of support is better works for rural development. For example, if the market is accessible in a particular community, then money or cash may be better. But if the market is not accessible, then food is better, because there are children and there are people with disabilities. Then they get the chance to receive food. So therefore, it depends on the case and the situation, that which modality and which project based works.
Very nice. Very true. Anybody else would want to contribute? Final? One of the main reasons, besides all the other reasons that you all quoted, one of the main reasons was also the fact that since the wage was being earned by the male member of the family, mainly, and the money was given in the hands of these males, not every male was as responsible as they should have been. So the money that was given to them was used by these men to probably go and just drink. They would have the local alcohol. They would spend the money on their addictions. So the government, and this is a major problem in rural areas, because there is local country made liquor available, and these men would use up all their money, drink it up, and they were left with nothing to bring back home for the family. So the government realized this very soon, and they were like, "This is not something that can be that will work for too long," and that is why they came up with this program of providing them food. Because once you give food for the wages, naturally the adult member cannot go and sell off the food. The food has to be taken in home. So this was a very interesting initiative and an interesting realization by the government. This again, I come back to the point that programs are started, they are launched, they are envisaged, and during the course of time, problems come up. We are faced with problems, we are faced with different situations, and solutions are sought pertaining to the problems that come up from time to time. And eventually, finally, the face of the scheme that comes up eventually after 20 years, 25 years, where small inputs have come in, changes have come in, alterations have been made, modulations have been made, amendments have been made based on the learning outcomes, learning processes during the implementation of a program. So, employment generation programs started with giving them guaranteed jobs, started with giving them guaranteed cash, started with giving them guaranteed wages, came up to the stage of giving them food, giving them food for work and not cash for work. Then it also came to the extent of providing direct benefit. It came to now presently all the money that is being given to the laborers is directly into the bank accounts. From last I guess 12 years is an Aadhaar system was created and all bank accounts were linked with Aadhaar, and now money is going in directly into the bank account, so that no person who is given the power of dispersing money, any government employee who's given the power of dispersing money or giving money, cash money, is not taking bribe in return. So the government is directly transferring money into the accounts. We were also faced with the problem that supposedly a government employee was given an X amount of money to be distributed to the laborers who had worked as wage laborers. They would keep a percentage of the share and say that I will give you this money only if you give me my 1%, 2%, 10% share. So all this has been done away with through the direct transfer, bank transfer. So we started our system with giving them cash, came to giving them food, and have come back to we have now are in a process. We are in the system where the employees are given money into their banks. So we've come a long way when it comes to the various poverty alleviation programs. When it comes to initially the guarantee of employment, and then also the various rural development programs. So we've come a long way. So with these small programs, which is a part of Unit 3, and all these programs are wage employment programs. All these wage employment programs have had a different phase in years, and kindly go through them and also see what kind of wage employment programs were running in your country prior to the crisis. When did they end? What happened? How many have been able to sustain themselves till date? And that's it. So I think we've crossed our time, and you have your prayers to go for. I close the class. If there is any suggestion, anything that you would want to say, please tell me so that the next class be a better class. Yes, Mr. Mohammed Hussain Hussaini.
Hello, teacher. Are you hearing me?
I can hear you.
I have a question regarding to our lesson. Understands that is it possible that we could ban the migration from rural to urban, or it's not possible? It's one.
Was my
Next,
lecture so?
If it's
Was my
possible to
lecture? Yeah, was my lecture so bad?
through
Listen to me.
YouTube, your
Listen
chat.
to me. Was my lecture so bad that you want to migrate from rural to urban? Okay, that was just a joke. Take it as one. Can you hear me?
Yes, mom.
I don't know about this migration. I think you need to speak to the people, write a mail to them, and they'll revert. Okay, Mr. Shaukat Ali.
Yes, mom. Sorry, mom. I just want to add something new, something related to the food and cash distribution.
Yes, please.
In Afghanistan, mom, sir, we have different kind of approach. Like we have conditional approach and unconditional approach. And conditional approach, we are limiting some sources. Like we are distributing cash and food by to work labor for food or to work labor for the cash. And unconditional, we are not limiting the sources for the labor. So both approaches has different advantage and disadvantage for the distribution. Um, the both approaches is only to decrease the poverty level, and it's already implementing in Afghanistan by different international organizations like by WFP, World Food Program, by different UN and other international organizations. So my question is that could we implement our like the other approach to decrease the poverty level in any other country, especially in emergency situation?
See, in an emergency situation, unfortunately, the focus is security. The focus is defense. Okay. And we all know that in an emergency situations, it is the vulnerable society that gets neglected the most. So taking up any issue, as of now, the civil society cannot do much. In such a situation, the civil society, you and me, cannot be of much help. It is actually the government needs to focus on their attention towards these needs. But whether these needs are are a priority for the government right now is an issue to be discussed, is an issue to be thought about. They are not a priority for the government right now. West, though I will not like to make any political statement, and I would suggest you also don't make any political situation and a statement. But we can all understand this thing that with changes in situation and in crisis situations, the priority of the government are the ones that are taken up on the list, and the rest of the needy people are given a secondary position and probably thought about once the crisis is over. So it's a wait and watch situation. Okay, I have one question to ask. My way of teaching is the way that I did today, where I talk about a topic, and then we have this interaction, and you have your inputs to give, and I have my inputs to give. And the second way is through a PowerPoint presentation. A PowerPoint presentation would have those things which are already there in the study material. The study material that I shared with you, it will be only that material put in a flashy, matlab in a PowerPoint. So, do you want a PowerPoint presentation, or is it okay with me going through the study material and discussing the main points? Please, I need input on that for my further class. Yes. Okay, one by one. Sayyid, what would you? आप क्या कहेंगे? क्या मेरा ये पढ़ाने का तरीका सही है या आपको पीपीटी चाहिए? क्योंकि ऐसे तो हमारा और आपका डिस्कशन हुआ, पीपीटी में पता नहीं कितना डिस्कशन हो पाता है.
मैम मेरे ख्याल से तो यही तरीका बहुत मुझे पसंद आया, क्योंकि हम ऑलरेडी पढ़ चुके हैं मतलब ये मटेरियल्स. तो मेन पॉइंट जो आपने डिस्कस किया तो बहुत समझने में बहुत अच्छी लगी पीपीटी से.
थैंक यू, शुक्रिया. और लोगों का भी ले लेते हैं मत. हाँ, मिस्टर नवीदुल्ला.
Thank you, ma'am. Actually, the both, I think the both ways are very good way. Hayatollah, can you please mute yourself? Sorry. Actually, both way or both methods are actually work, and we do agree with both methods. But same, we're also agree with the way you are just teaching us. Thank you very much for the your efforts. But some things that still we need as a recommendation, that we need still some how to say real example, some lesson learned about, well, for example, the project which is implemented, for example, in India. So what you got, for example, what was the overall the impacts? If you could just also could point out these areas as well
That
when
would,
you are just presenting, will be
yeah,
much
that would happen at
much
the
better.
end. Yeah. Mr. Naveedullah, problem is that will happen at the end. Once we are over with all the programs, then I'll be able to tell you the impact. As of now, we are just introducing the programs. So we'll come to it. That is a point that will be dealt with
Yeah,
eventually in the class.
thank you very much. And one thing more, that in case if you know, so, of course, you know that another sources which will also help us to learn more
Google.
about the
Go
project
through
of
it.
the India.
Google is the best. Go through it. No other official source you will get. You will not get it in the form of the same unit in the same sequence. Each topic can be Google searched and you will get a lot of information.
And I'm only talking especially about the project which is implemented in India as an
Yeah,
example.
just write down the name of the project. Write down the name of the project as the project name given in your study material, and you'll get a lot of information.
I thought that maybe there is some research papers which is already in hand
No,
of
no, that
you
is
in your
we
academy.
officially no. Officially, it would be difficult for you to get it in the same sequence.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Okay. Yes, Mr. Hayatullah.
Madam, I wanted to ask that is it possible to share the PPT or the lessons study materials one day in advance in order to have a prior study of the materials? Then
Mr.
I think.
Hayatullah. Okay. Hayatullah, actually, in the beginning, I asked all of you that whether you have the study material, and everybody said that they have the study material in the LMC. Right. So I have told you that I will be taking about 3 to 4 units per day. Today we have finished 3 units of block. We finished block one, unit two, unit three. So next class we will be doing the remaining units and then proceed to the block two. So it is for you with the LMC, with the study material that you have, that read 4 units in advance. The coming 4 units, read it in advance
Okay.
because you already have the material with you. So when I will be sharing those material on the screen, you will know on which platform and which page we are on. So it will be easy. So my only question was, is it okay with my kind of teaching, with this kind of an interaction, and or a PPT is what you want? If this is okay, the kind of interaction, then I'm absolutely okay, because this way we are able to talk more.
Yes, ma'am.
Ma'am, I think if only the bullet points of the topics to be lectured through PPT, and then the details like
I can
today's
do that,
lesson.
but right, I can do that, but once you will go through your study material, if you have already gone through it, then I know exactly where the bullet points is, and that is why I take you directly to that page. In that, what happens, Ayatollah, that if I give a PPT, then on the screen only my PPT will be visible, and you will be able to see only the points in the PPT. But when I share the study material, we are able to see the entire content, and our topics are broader than just the ones that are bulleted in my PPT. I'm just explaining myself, and you can still, your suggestions are more than welcome. Okay.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you.
I don't want to limit it only to the bullet points which I think are important. There could be times that there is a point that is reflecting on the screen and which you find is very important, but I did not give it enough of attention. So that way, we will all be equally involved. Yes, Mr. Shaukat Ali?
Thank you, mom. The lecture was very good today, and as this is opportunity for me, so I just want a question.
Yes, please.
Thank you, ma'am. I recently completed a research paper in a very close topic related to rural development. And if you don't mind that, I just want to share with you for the proofreading and for the commenting and feedbacks. So could you please share your email to share my article with you, ma'am? Thank you.
No, that is so kind of you. I'm giving my email ID on the chat box. All of you who need it can please take it down. My number has already been shared. You can WhatsApp it to me also.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Yeah,
I just
please
eager
feel free
to
to
receive it.
contact
Thank you.
and if there is anything, in fact, I would ask you to give a small assignment of writing one paragraph, one page on the crisis in Afghanistan from your eyes. What do you think? What do you think the government can do? First, you discuss about the crisis from your eyes and then talk about what, as a concerned citizen, you want, how you see it. May email आप मुझे you can WhatsApp to me, you can email it to me. There's no compulsion in writing it. This is not a part of the assignment at all. But generally, because as concerned citizens, and this paper that we are teaching, we are learning, has come up at such a time that it has sent us thinking that whether all these things are just on paper or is it really something, you know, where we can do or the society or the government should do. It's something that we can it is a thought provoking thing, and we need to just see whether what all can be done and how can we contribute in whatever little way that we can. So write a small article, just a one page thing on the crisis from your own eyes or something like that if you want to.
मतलब मैम आपका सवाल में क्या हिंदी में बता सकते हैं कि आपका सवाल क्या था?
हाँ, मैं ये कह रही हूँ 2 मिनट बस। मैं ये कह रही हूँ कि अफगानिस्तान में जो क्राइसिस चल रही है उसको आप अपनी नजर से अगर लिख करके एक पैराग्राफ में, एक पेज में अगर दें, और किस तरीके से ये जो हम लोग कार्यक्रम कर रहे हैं, हम जो पढ़ रहे हैं, रूरल डेवलपमेंट प्रोग्राम से किस तरीके से आपको लगता है कि ऐसी क्राइसिस में हमको फायदा कर सकता है या हम क्या कर सकते हैं इस प्रोग्राम के माध्यम। ये प्रोग्राम आपको अफगानिस्तान की क्राइसिस की नज़र से अगर आप देखें तो इस प्रोग्राम से आपको क्या फायदा हो रहा है, इसके बारे में अगर आप कुछ लिखेंगे तो अच्छा रहेगा। और नहीं तो सिर्फ अफगानिस्तान की समस्या को आप अपनी नज़र से लिखिए कि क्या है, आपको क्या लगता है, वो क्या रहा है, क्यों हो रहा है। ये मैं कह रही थी।
मैम फूड सिक्योरिटी हवाले से पैराग्राफ लिखे या डिफरेंट एस्पेक्ट?
किसी भी एस्पेक्ट में यू जस्ट राइट अबाउट, आपको सिर्फ ये लिखना है कि अफगानिस्तान में जो हो रहा है उसके बारे में आप क्या सोचते हैं। और ये आप मेरे को भेजोगे, अगर आपको लगता है कि आप कुछ भी लिखोगे वो एंटी सोशल, एंटी नेशनल कहलाने लगेगा, अगर एंटी नेशनल आपको लगता है तो आप बेशक ना लिखें, बट अगर आपको लगता है कि ऐसा कुछ भी नहीं है और आप लिख करके देना चाहते हैं, देन वी कैन डिस्कस इट। मतलब मेरे को बस एक ख्याल आया कि किस तरीके से हमारा ये जो कार्यक्रम है, ये जो MRD202 हम लोग पढ़ रहे हैं, ये अफगानिस्तान की प्रेजेंट क्राइसिस में किस तरीके से हमको फायदा कर, मतलब हमें किस तरीके से कंट्रीब्यूट कर पाएगा, हमें किस तरीके से इम्पैक्ट कर पाएगा, इसके ऊपर अगर आप कुछ लिखें तो ये बहुत बहुत रेलेवेंट हो जाएगा। दिस प्रोग्राम विल बिकम वेरी रेलेवेंट टू अस। हमें उसकी तवज्जो समझना है कि हमको उसका मतलब, हमें उसकी ज़रूरत, मीनिंग, इम्पोर्टेंस समझ में आएगी, महत्व समझ में आएगा. We'll be able to understand the importance of this program more in light of what is happening in Afghanistan. Okay, I've taken a lot of your time. You have your prayers to do. It was nice meeting you. It was good talking to you. And we'll meet again on Thursday, probably at 5 or 5:30. 5. I would prefer 5, but 5. I would prefer 5. Or maybe 4:30. Is 4:30 okay with you? Okay, we'll
Yes,
talk
ma'am.
later. ठीक है, we'll talk later. Bye bye. Go for your prayers now. Go. Sorry. See you.